went out one day, and Nastya came in every day to see him to get what's doing, whether we don't run away. And my little boy was saying that he was 7 years old. He was so handsome that even the Nastyas couldn't refuse not to talk to him. So they came over to me, and Nastya came over, and he says, "Who is this, a Jude?" And I said, "Yes." But he put his hands down on his head, and he said, "I said it was a schade." He said it was a schade because he knew what was going to happen to him because he's a Jude. And I didn't understand. He said it's a schade, he's a Jude.
What happened, where was this?
In Beijing.
In Beijing.
Yeah.
This was in...
Before we went to Auschwitz.
And what kind of a place was it where you were before you went to Auschwitz?
Ghetto.
The ghetto.
Ghetto.
What was it like?
We lived, all the people lived in one street, all the Jewish people. They moved into one street.
About how many were there?
I think it was 9,000.
And how much space was there?
So much space, like a big street here.
Just on one street, 9,000 people?
Big street.
And when they took you to Auschwitz, what was the first thing you saw when you got to Auschwitz?
2 people hanging.
What do you mean hanging?
They hung them up. Hanging by the necks. In one side, one man, and the other side, another man. We came up, people were riding in a train, but they take horses and cows, no toilet, no nothing. So how what we were doing, like she asked me, Elena Rubenstein. I said they spread out some straw, and everybody went in the straw. If they needed to go to the bathroom, they went into the straw, insane. And she said, what happened? So later in the morning, they took her something in the, they cleaned it out, and outside they opened up the doors, and they shoveled it out, and they put in fresh straw. That's how we traveled, like cows, like horses, like cows. And then when we stopped in Auschwitz, and two men were hanging. That's what they showed us the first time. If that's what is going to happen to us. No. So on this side a man, and this side a man.
What happened when you got to Auschwitz? What was the first thing they did?
What happened? The first thing they took off our hair, the heads. They looked like monkeys. The heads was just like a scalp. Everybody was cut off the hair like a man. There's no hair, nothing. If somebody needed a 16 dress, they gave him a 6. If somebody needed a 6, they gave him a 16. They took it from the other people, but they sent him to the crematorium. They took off their clothes, and they had to put us on in the same clothes. Because they knew they're not going to be for long. They take off the dresses of us and they're going to give it to new ones. So they took off from the dead people, but they brought in wagons, naked, already with gas, on their mouths, with gas, just to go to the crematorium. We saw in a not a Rabenboek, Oranjeboek, not an Oranjeboek.
How long were you in Auschwitz?
Oh, a lot of months. When I came to Auschwitz, I went in, they put me in a Zigeunerlager. They called it the Zigeunerlager, the Gypsy Lager. The Lager, but it's a Zigeunerlager, the Gypsy Lager. So they put us there with straw underneath, and we were sleeping there. 10 were sleeping in the land. 1 was laying on another one, because it wasn't so much place. I was laying on you, let's say. I don't want to And one was laying with the head till here on me. And on the other one who was laying on me was laying another one. So we were laying a few hundred people, one on the other. And every morning they took us of an apple to check us. You know, but if somebody had something like a little, you know, a little scar, so they went right to the crematorium. But they undressed us to see whether we don't have a little pimple, whether we all clean, and we all healthy. If somebody had a little pimple, they went straight to the crematorium. We went back to the Zigeuner lager. One boy didn't have anything wrong. Went back to the Zigeuner lager.
When was the last time you saw your children? How many children?
2, 12 and 7. A girl of 12 and a boy 7. Oh, they went a year before me, probably. They came at night and they took them out in the bed. We were crying, we wanted to go with them, but they wouldn't let us.
Where were you when the Nazis took them? Was this in Auschwitz or was this someplace else?
No, in Beijing, from my bed. Archie never was dressed, ready to go. He dressed himself like a doll.
How old was Archie then?
7. And Jenny ran away. I didn't see her until when we went into the crematorium. And whoever was close to going there was on the first line. So I didn't see her. She ran away. But why did she run away? It was staying, one lady was staying near me. And we had a separate room from there to send us away. They sent us to our room. And they emptied it out. It was a paint store. And they pushed everybody in. So that woman had a child 15 months old. And she was, you know, and Gestapo came over to her. He wanted to take out the child from her hand. So she said, please let me feed the child. And she took out and she was going to feed the child once more. She said, please, I'll never forget this. She begged him, please let me feed the child once more. So he took out a nagaika, you know, but a nagaika he gave over her head.
No, what's a nagaika?
Like a, you hit somebody with a nagaika. It's a leather or I don't know what.
Did you ever see the kids again in Auschwitz, or was this only before?
Well, I saw Genya. When we were the line was closed, she saw me, she was screaming, Mom, Mom, Mom. I saw her before we were going into the crematorium because they pushed the line closer and closer. I was staying in the last line, and then we came out that we were on the front because the others got in already.
This is the line for what? What kind of line was this?
The line to the crematorium already gas.
To the gas chambers? Is that what you mean?
No, that was already with the gas. Okay. After the gas. To go in after the gas, they didn't have any more to push them in the oven.
Yeah, but what happened with the gas chamber? How close did you get in line with the gas chamber?
Oh, a few steps.
How come they didn't put you in the gas chamber? How come you didn't get gas?
Because it was a closer line. This was a line further, and a line closer. So Margenia was staying there, and I started screaming, and people didn't let me because they were afraid they're going to come, they're going to shoot us. I started screaming that I want to go to her. And she screams that she wants to go to me. But she ran away when the Gestapo didn't let her feed the child. Then she went away and I didn't see her at all.
This was in Auschwitz?
No, in Beijing. She was hiding.
Who?
Genya.
Did you ever see Genya again in Auschwitz?
I saw her for the crematorium.
You saw her again there?
Yeah.
How long since you'd seen her before then?
How long? About a year.
You mean she survived a whole year and then you saw her then?
Yeah.
And how come they didn't send you in? What stopped them from sending you in the gas chamber?
Because I was too far the line. It was a closer line. The one who was closer went in before.
What?
in the crematorium.
So where did they send you if they didn't send you into the gas chamber?
They sent me to Auschwitz.
Well, what were you doing there? Why were you saved? Why did they take you out of Auschwitz?
They kicked me out because the line was too far. The closer they get, the closer they were to the crematorium.
Well, but how come you got out? Why didn't they just let you stay in line and then wait till you got to the front? How come?
Because they had so many in the front line, they couldn't wait until they go to the end. And then it came in a telegram from Sweden that they need 500 people, and they're going to pay as much as they want. And the Swedish people paid for us, and if they cut off the line, they took out 500 people. I got out because they needed people to make ammunition, guns and rifles. And the German people taught us how to do it. They were teaching us. They were sitting elderly people, and they were teaching us. They saved their lives too because they were showing us how to do it, so they let them live. One said to me, Mala, Jenny remembers that. She says, I think to you we're living too.
Now, Genya, which Genya is this? This is not your daughter. No.
Genya from Israel.
Okay. This is a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Now, so when you got out of Auschwitz, they took you out of Auschwitz to send you where?
To send me to the factory making guns.
What happened in the factory?
In the factory we made all the guns and the pistols, the rifles. In Lodz I made the clothes for the soldiers.
This was before Auschwitz?
Yeah.
What kind of clothes did you make for them?
Menduos, the coats. I made the cuffs and the collars. And I sent them for 16. I sent them to the others who didn't have that much practice from sewing. I sent them to them. 16 people were behind me. One was putting in the lining, and one was putting in the buttons and the holes.
When you were at the factory, were you safe there? Was there bombings? Was there anything like that? Were you away from the war? Were you close to the war?
No, we weren't away. We weren't safe. But the German people thought that the Americans were going to save the Jews. So they were hiding with us.
What do you mean they thought they were going to save the Jews? They wouldn't bomb you?
Yeah, but they were bombed like crazy. And they were laying there, the Germans.
With you?
With us. The women, the men, they were hiding there with us. I'll talk to you when I'll be with Kenya sometimes.
What were the Germans like when they were hiding with you? Were they brave? Were they frightened? What were they like?
Frightened. Very frightened. And we had the best satisfaction. And they were fighting with us. Because we wanted to see that they're afraid too.
Who was more frightened, the Jewish women there, or the German guards, when the bombings were taking place?
I think they were more afraid.
Why do you think that was true?
Huh?
Why do you think they were more afraid?
Because they were guilty. They felt guilty. They felt that they came and they wanted to finish them.
So how long were you in the munitions factory?
Oh, we worked there a long time. A whole summer.
Where did you go from the munitions factory?
To Oranienburg.
And what was there?
Another camp.
How did you get out? How was that camp?
This is when the Swedish said that we want 500 people.
The Swedish? What do you mean the Swedish said they wanted 500 people?
The Swedish people bought us out. They heard what's going on. And they paid a lot of money. See, Germany was broke already. They didn't have any money, they didn't have any food. The Swedish offered them a lot of money to release 500 people. Each time 500. So they let us go with the Swedish. We went into Denmark. Denmark, they gave us to sleep also with straw and everything, but they gave us a place at least. They brought us a pillow, they gave us something to cover. Then we went into Sweden to Denmark, from there to Denmark.
What were you doing in the camp there before they got you out, before you were ransomed out? Were you doing anything? Were you in danger? Were there gas chambers there, or were there no gas chambers?
In where we had the mission.
Yeah, after the munition.
No.
When you went to the camp after the munition.
No, they let us out, but they were shooting us on the way. That's how I got.
Well,
the
this is
bullet.
before you got out of the. You went from the munitions factory to what was the name of the camp?
Oranienburg.
So Oranienburg, there was a concentration camp. Is that what you're? What kind of concentration camp was it? Was there a gas chamber there too?
Yeah, and Ravensbrück too. Ravensbrück was also a gas chamber. We saw it, we were there by the door to go in already. And the Unterschaffer came, but he was with us. The woman came, she was a Gestapo woman, and she says, "You don't be afraid, children. You're going to America. You're not going to get killed." I don't know how she got it.
This was the German telling you this?
Yeah.
So was she a bad German or a Jew?
No. She said to us, an elderly woman, she says if Hezbollah would know that she brings us a piece of bread and she talks to us like that, he would kill her because he's a Nazi. She told us that thanks to us she is living because she works with us, you know. And she got away from the Gestapo for a while. So she says, but if my son-in-law would know that I'm bringing you a piece of bread in the morning and I'm talking to you like that, she says I would have been dead already.
Because she tried to help you a little?
Yeah.
So you say you were in line for the gas chamber? Is that what you meant in Ravensbrück?
Of course.
And so when did
Ravensbrück.
When did the Swedish people ransom you out? Were you
In the line, that woman came in and she said, "I have good news for you. You're not going to die. You're going to go to America." She says, "You're going to go," and then from there we went to Sweden, to Denmark. From Denmark, they gave us little a ship to go there. Genya's husband got killed there.
How come he got killed? You mean on the ships?
They let us out and they were shooting. We shouldn't tell people what's going on there. We shouldn't get to Sweden and tell them what's going on, that they kill people for nothing, like flies. So they were shooting us. Whoever survived, survived.
How were they shooting you? With guns, with planes, with ships? How?
Guns.
Who was doing the shooting? Do you know?
Gestapo.
So
Everything Gestapo.
From when they were trying to take you out of where?
I tried to able to take us out from Oranienburg to Sweden, to Denmark.
Okay. So it was on the way from Ravensbrück to Denmark that they tried to shoot?
Yeah. That's how I got the bullet.
What bullet?
Yeah. You still can see it. Back. Don't you see in the back my bullet? A hole?
Then what caused this? And what caused this?
I took out the bullet in Sweden. Can you see something?
It's hard to see in this light, but yeah.
It's ugly.
And when you got to Sweden, what did they do in Sweden?
In Sweden, they arranged a few houses and they made a little hospital. They put us there and we were checked. And they fed us and they gave us clothes. They washed us. You know, we were dirty, filthy from all the things. The Swedish people made us be alive. The richest one came with food and clothing.
Well, what kind of shape were you in before, when they got you out of the camp into Sweden first?
They said that I'm not in bad shape, but they fed us so good. They cooked everything and clean. We should gain, we look like skeletons. We should gain a few pounds. So they cooked everything, fish and they cooked on cream and they gave us so much to eat to fed us up a little bit. That's how they gave us to play cards. And they gave us cigarettes to calm down, not to be so nervous. So they gave us to smoke cigarettes.
The friend Genya that you, there was she got out with you. She was in the camps with you and came all the way?
Yeah. She was holding me because I couldn't walk in one time. I had sciatica. I couldn't walk. So and in the morning we went on Napel. Napel is the count how many there are. The next day again, not people shouldn't run away.
Where was this?
In Auschwitz. Yeah, and then when she went to the water, when she fell in the water, I saved her life.
How did you save her life? Where was that?
How I saved her life? Because everybody ran out to the front door, and I looked at her, I was screaming, Genya, Genya, Genya.
Why were they running?
They were running out, they were going to hide away from the Gestapo. So I was screaming, Genya, 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 and I went to her bed. But we were laying both heads, one bed, a pritcher, upstairs, they called it pritchers, upstairs. And she wasn't there. So it dawned on me, maybe, I saw the windows open, maybe she jumped out from the window. And I look out and she's laying in the water. So I jumped out from the window and I grabbed her by the hair. I can't swim.
What kind of water was this? How come there was water there?
It was water from the rain, or water for digging. They made the barracks to hide from the bombs. They made barracks, All the motor was there, and the water came in. They were digging so deep. So I ran in and I pulled her out. So away in a corner of her arm living, because she took me every day for an apple. I couldn't walk. And I saved her in the water. From there we were together until we went to Sweden.
So you pulled her out of the water?
Yeah.
How'd you pull her out?
Hair.
Was she drowning?
Yeah. I was screaming, and she didn't answer me. So I thought I'll try this way. They cut off her hair anyway, so I thought if she'll be without hair, it doesn't matter whether they'll cut it off or I'll take it off of her.
So this was before you went to Auschwitz or after?
After.
So she had some hair though now? Some grew back?
Yeah. Oh yes, just like mine. Go back. I saw her when she came out when they cut off the hair. I saw Hafje in Helen, Edger. So I says, I want to die. I want they should shoot me right away. And Hafje said, don't say that. We ran away. We went on a hill, up on a hill, on a very high hill, up. I wanted they should kill me right there and then. When I looked at them, how they looked. Monkeys, not people.
This is when? When was this?
When? Out of Auschwitz.
Out of Auschwitz or before Auschwitz?
No, out of Auschwitz. Out of Auschwitz. We thought we were going to stay there until somebody will come and take us away. So we were staying there and they were shooting at everybody. So Genya had a little watch and she offered it to a nice man, an older person, a German. So she says, I want to sell this. If you need a piece of bread, something to eat. So he says, give it to me, I'll sell it for you. He got it. He brought us every morning something to eat.
Where was this?
Not in Auschwitz. Every morning he brought a piece of bread for her, for you, the Genya and the Mala, that we used to call me, not Mala, but the Mala and the Genya. So that's, but one came in, she was a real Gestapo. She brought in the morning something to eat. She opened up the window she was showing us that she's thrown out to the birds. We should see that she's throwing it out to the birds better than to give it to us. And then a girl was there, she needed to go to the bathroom. She was crying, and a young girl, a Gestapo, about 21 years old. She was there, and she said she didn't let her go to the bathroom. And an elder woman, the one who said that when her son-in-law, yes, son-in-law would know, he would kill her, that she brings us a piece of bread. She said, we said to her that she's dying to go to the bathroom, and she wouldn't let her. She says, I know. She said she should have a time when she'll need to go and she shouldn't be able to go. So she said, the girl said, so what do you want me to do? I need to go. You want me to die? So she said, you can die right now. What do I care?
And where was this?
No, and she didn't let her go to the bathroom. And that woman told us that she's only 21 years old. She said, how can a person this age be so mean not to let her go to the bathroom? She didn't let her. We were all crying on account of her, but she didn't let her go. This girl she was dead, fading. She couldn't live any longer. Then she was working for the ammunition, and she cut off her four fingers. At night, we worked at night. At night you're sleepy, you know it, but the machine goes this way or this way. Stammserei. We slept down a piece. They should the guns to make. The things for the guns to put in. So the machine came on the finger, not on the gun. So it cut off the gun. Few people cut off it.
And one of them was this girl who had been in Auschwitz with you? She went to the munitions factory with you?
Yeah. Genya knew her, I knew her, Hafsha knew her.
Who's Hafsha?
She is not far from Lodz. She was with us all the time. A good friend of mine. She was the closest friend, really, like Genya. Hafsha, Henrik was there.
Who's Henrik?
Henrik, Genya's husband.
Her first husband or second husband?
No, the second, this one. But Genya's married to him. He was there.
How many relatives did you have before the war began? Before the Germans came? How many in your family?
How many? 14 children. And 18 grandchildren.
How many besides yourself survived?
Nobody. I'm the only one from 34. They took in 34. I'm the only one who came out. It was 7 sisters. Mareil, Svetel, Esther, Ruchel, me, the other one, Gittel, is from Paris. She got killed in Paris. They took her to Auschwitz in Paris. It's her husband, 2 little boys. Well, I went to see her with Magenia before the war. When the war broke out, we came back. Magenia was then 2 years old. And I went to see my sister when we came back.
She was how old?
4. And when I was in Paris with her.
Before the war?
Yeah. Then we went to Belgium because his family was living in Belgium. His father, mother, 2 brothers and a sister, they were living in Belgium. So they didn't survive either.
Nobody got out but you?
Huh?
Nobody got out but you?
No, not in Belgium either. They all got killed. His sisters, his sister-in-laws, his children.
This is, you're talking about who? Whose sister-in-law?
My husband.
Your husband's? This is your first husband?
Yeah.
Where did he die?
He?
Yeah.
My husband?
Yeah.
I didn't see him in Auschwitz. He went to Auschwitz too, like everybody, but I didn't see him. I didn't heard of him. I didn't see him. I know he came back, he looked for us, and somebody told him that we went to Auschwitz. He was willing to go anytime they'll take him. He told he was going to see us. When the train left, not by train, by wagon, so, and when they took the children, I was begging him to take me too. They said, we'll come and get you, but not now, it's too much on the wagon, it's too crowded. So they left him in Beijing. They should clean out the town. They promised him they'll don't let him leave. They'll clean out the town. Then they took him in a village and they shot him all. They shot him.
Your husband?
Yeah.
So he didn't make it to Auschwitz?
No. They shot him in Beijing. In Shemenitskis. That village was Shemenitskis.
How do you know this? You weren't there?
Because somebody was hiding out, and after the war he came to look for who survived. So they told him, they took them to Shemenitskis, and they all killed them. The one came to me, Ellis, a cousin. Ellis. He told me they took him to Shemenitskis.
Well, and what was your first husband's name?
Bears. They killed them all. They left by how many? Oh, they left by 30 people probably. That should survive. They'll clean out the town, then be left, and they're going to survive. So everybody wanted to be in Beijing, not to go. So they were left and they were shot. Can I quit?
Yeah, you want to quit. This is December 5th, 1993. This is Molly Goldman. Her maiden name was Molly Repstein, Malka Repstein. She was born March 20th, 1914.
Bielorovska.
Bielorovska. Where's Bielorovska?
A little town, a small town.
Near a big city?
Yeah.
What's it near?
Ravska, it's Rava. Rava was the biggest city. This was 7 miles from Warsaw.
Okay, Mom. Thank you.